if your Digital Sabbath essays are to be believed, and I want to believe that they are, several of you, many of you, most of you have learned some valuable lessons about the nature of focus and attention and the digital age in which we are living. And so for this week 8 screencast, I encourage you to apply those lessons and give me your full attention as I walk you through week 8, which is pretty much a doozy because Stark State is on spring break for the following week. So you have some work to do by the time I check in on you next, which is, of course, March 17th that you can see there. So what did you do last week? You learned about the research essay. You learned about its parameters and its expectations. You considered and applied some research questions to a topic that you have you're written about in a discussion post. You've learned how to tell the story of how you arrived at your topic in an invention journal. And so this week is sort of the next step in the sort of the journey that you're undertaking with this the biggest project of the semester, the research essay, this 10 plus page behemoth of a writing assignment. So now it's time to involve the research part of it. Your topics are, relatively speaking, locked in, and you are now ready to share with me how your research is going. And that's a lot of what I want you to be doing this week. So let's just go down the list here. I have 2 other screencasts for you this week. They're more like kind of reminders, citation styles and quote integration. And I'll probably keep beating those drums as we go on and probably adding to that list of ideas that were important last semester in your research projects in your college comp classes that are still important here. What I want to talk about first is the annotated bibliography, which is one of the 2 larger assignments that you have to do this week. Now, this assignment, if you've had me before, this looks somewhat familiar, although not completely. And chances are, whoever you had for college composition, you had to do an annotated bibliography. They're an important part of any research building process. I did them all through graduate school and undergraduate. So as far as I can tell, they are still an important part of the research project building process. So for my class, for College Comp 2, what you're going to do is you're going to annotate and cite 5 sources that you read or consult. Now that's an important word there, consult. These sources do not have to end up in your final draft of your research project. This assignment is meant to give me an idea of where you're at today with the research process. So there's a Prezi here. I can kind of visualize it for you really quickly. It's not going to look very good because if you've noticed, I've skinnied up the screen in hopes of making the resolution a little bit better, but it still appears here. Sources. So you want sources that are credible, that are timely, that are relevant to your essay's goals, and that come from a range of sources. Watch this in good health. I see down here I have 436 views. That's very good. I bet that number goes way up as usual when I assign Prezis. But back to the task at hand. You are going to either go MLA or APA. Remember, I shared that list with you last week. You want to pick your major or your intended major and go from there with your citation style. The citation part hopefully does not give you much trouble. You had lots of MLA and APA practice last semester, and you've had plenty this semester as well. So hopefully that doesn't cause you any undue stress. The part that I want to cause you undue stress with is the annotation part. Forgive me. It's kind of a 2-step process. What you're going to do is for at least 5 articles, and the more you do, the better your annotated bib is going to be, and probably the easier the writing of your research essay is going to be. But it's a kind of a 2-step process. You summarize the article. What is it about? And you use objective language, all the stuff that I've made important in the reader responses as well. What's the article about? Use an objective tone and so forth. But the more useful part, I think, the more interesting part is going to be the second portion, which is how do you plan to use the article in your research essay. All right, so the more sources you compile, the easier your essay will be. I see a typo here. There you go, editing in action. I do it every week. Anyway, there's 2 examples here of what are really good annotated bibliographies. This is an MLA style. You can see that there's a sentence or two per agenda item. But they're nicely cited, they make sense, and I get a really clear idea from reading these where this essay is going to go. Then there's a screenshot of an APA example as well, and the goals are the same, it's just a matter of citation style. So if you have any questions, APA versus MLA, you can consult me. So you will create in your research, it says here, you will create this in your research essay folder. That's where I'll be looking for it when I grade it. And there's also, to help you just in general, just a piece of advice to organize your research. There's a really cool video. I'm not going to click on this link because the only audio I want on this screencast is my own. But this one here is, you can see it there, the free for teachers. It's got a nice video about how to use Google Slides to organize research. So, we're already, elbow deep in Google as it is. Let's see if we can wade even further into Google. So if you have any questions on the annotated bib, by all means, send me an email. The other assignment that I want to talk about is an invention journal that is, I'm basically counting it for 2. It's kind of 2 weeks worth of invention journals, and those will be 6 and 7. And let me walk you through that here. Hopefully, okay, a lot of it shows up. That's great. Let's scroll down to invention journals 6 and 7. Let me see if I can broaden that a little bit. Can I get 6 and 7 on the same line? There we go. Some of you are very OCD like that, so I hope you know where I'm coming from. So in at least 4 minutes, this is my, how I'm always kind of, with every essay, I'm kind of making you kind of turn a little bit of an eye towards the next project. Well, that's what's happening here with this invention journal is I want you to create an online presentation about how the research part of your research essay is coming along. So, I'm making it worth, kind of twice the grade. So, ergo, you got kind of twice the effort to put into it. So you're going to create a presentation, and I'll show you where to share it here in a minute. But and I'll show you this sample as well. But I want to talk about the 4 parameters that I want you to follow here. So do the following things. Remind us all what your research essay topic and your research essay question, what they are. Okay. Show me where you're looking for sources. Okay, and then talk about what you're finding. And so that can be one example, is sort of a longer, sustained example of a good source that you found, or, and I imagine this is what many people will do, a few examples of what sorts of sources you're finding, especially good quality sources, and then what makes each source of a high quality. So I want you to kind of teach a little bit of this back to me about what you've learned about evaluating and scrutinizing outside sources looks like for you. And then this is the other part. Since this is going to be a shared presentation that everyone else in class is going to be able to see, I want you to give each other some advice. What sort of advice would you offer to your peers? So this is, the next project, I should say, is a multimodal presentation that you are going to collaborate on in small groups. And so I want you kind of getting your feet wet a little bit with the ins and outs of those expectations. So let's see. We are going to, I can click, this is the link up here. So you're going to post your link to your Invention Journal 6 and 7, Editing and Action. And so I've basically put all your names in here. There y'all are. Hello, everybody. You're in alphabetical order, so don't anybody think anybody's more special than anybody else. What you'll do is you'll put your link in this column, all right, and then I will put a little bit of feedback here. This is one of those dangerous, anybody can edit documents, so please only, Destiny, only work in here, okay, please. Let's see. Natalie, please, only there. I know Natalie's a good student. She'll do that. You're all good students. D'Angelo, stick to there. You know what I'm doing here. Be responsible human beings, please. So this way, we have this nice long list of links to see what everybody's doing with their online presentations. I'm super excited about this assignment, and I'm very anxious to see what you all do with it because you have all these cool options over here. If you look at this, I've created a Bitly bundle, and I'm going to show you that link now. Bitly bundles. I've showed this to other classes as well. I'm sorry this looks a little off kilter. You're seeing not the whole links, but this is my Bitly bundle series of links to all the different types of online multimodal sort of presentation software that is web-based, that is free to a point, and free enough for you all that you can use for this invention journal, and then hopefully you'll get a little good at it, and then what happens is you will be able to take what you've learned for the invention journals and apply them to the multimodal presentation assignment. That's my ultimate goal here. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a Powtoon very quickly here in a second. I love that one. But there's Impressor, there's Socratic, okay, there's slideshare.net, There's Zamzar, which is a pretty popular conversion website. Play around with these. Click on a couple. See if one has a more intuitive user interface than another. WeVideo, Slide Rocket, Screencast-O-Matic, which you're watching right now. Screener, it's another that I use quite a bit. Voki is a cool one that lots of teachers in my program, my department use. Glossy is a digital magazine creation platform. Very cool stuff. Let's see, AuthorStream, Prezi, you are all people who are capable of reading and scrolling, so I'm not going to go through all of these, but these are all the options that I've had, and maybe by the time you're watching this screencast, I've even added to this list. I'm constantly repopulating it. You can see I started this a year ago down here with Crocodoc, and sorry for the vertigo, if we go all the way to the top, I added this one just 2 days ago. So I'm always adding to this list, and if you find one, please, I think that's over here, if you find any platforms that is useful, let me know. I will add that note later. If you must do a timed PowerPoint, which is sort of a old standby, you have that option as well. I'm not going to encourage that. So very quickly, this is let me mute it. Okay, this is a Powtoon that my lovely wife, Dr. Melissa Askernedge created for a speech, a luncheon that she was the keynote speaker at. So you can watch hers and get an idea of what Powtoons is capable of. They basically look like commercials. We can check in.
18 to 24 send an average of 67 texts each day.
Look at that.
Double.
You 18-year-olds, how about that? 67 texts a day. Is that number high or low for you? Anyway, you will create your online presentation. You will share it to this link, and you will use any of these sources. Okay. Hopefully you're getting familiar with the shared research folder. Oops, let me see here. Where is it? Oh, I'm just going to click on the link. Forgive me for that. We will open this link up. Hopefully you're getting familiar with all these different folders that are in here. And again, I've been adding to this list quite a bit, and this is where that the shared invention journal is. But the assignments themselves, are in here. Hopefully you're still familiarizing yourself with all these different areas. My presentations on narrowing your research question, on the internet as a research tool, on research design, and there will be more to come. Those are in there. I'm adding constantly to these list of articles that need to be read. Some of them are sample articles. Some of them are articles that kind of give you advice on how to conduct primary research. This is a fairly massive undertaking. Sharing this folder with you is sort of labor intensive on me, but and it probably is a little bit labor intensive on you to wade through all of them. But it's my hope that any questions that you have can be found in this folder at some point. So continue to peruse those. You can still contribute an idea or two to our ongoing list of research essay topics. You have basically all locked into topics. But if you find an article or something that's interesting, you're more than welcome to continue to post to that ongoing list of potential topics. You have a little bit of reading to do this week. You're reading a lot of other stuff from me, so I'm not going to try to compound that with lots of extra textbook reading. But your readers, all right, you can tell I'm 13 minutes into this. Your Writer's FAQs is a very useful book for this particular project because there are all the answers that you want for citation, for quote integration, for and then the research process, searching for information, evaluating information. You'll be into this chapter on research for quite a while, and this is just sort of this week's assignment. So. You are all, what's not on here, just by the way, you can still enter the essay contest, you still have time. All right, I'm just going to talk now for a little bit. You have all this stuff. What you can do with this stuff is, yes, you can complete these assignments and kind of call it a day, or guys, you can start writing your research essay. Next time you hear from me, I'm going to share with you some really nice examples of what good research essays look like, and I know many of you find those very helpful. But don't wait on those. Get started writing. You have really good topics. Some of you have some really fascinating ways to tie technology into larger sort of societal trends and cultural issues. And I'm really anxious to see what you do with those. So the sooner you start writing your research essay, even if you don't like where it's at when you begin, the sooner you start it, and I've said this a million times, the sooner you can start to rewrite it. That writing is rewriting. And the other benefit is the sooner you start it, the sooner you can start getting feedback from me. And you can even ask your peer review partners for feedback. Peer review is coming around the corner. It's still a couple of weeks away. Hopefully it'll be much warmer. But start writing your essays. Start thinking about the best approach to your topics as you're doing doing your research. And at all times, guys, please let me know how things go. I'm very much rooting for you to rock this essay.